Hey guys, it's Jan, Not a Real Farm. It's about 5 o'clock, dinner time here, but I thought I would just sort of bring you through for a really quick look-see. We have been clearing out a lot of the plants, you can tell. A lot of the dead tomato plants now are gone. All the way around, just about to the brandywines there. I've been clearing those out, but these brandywines, as you can tell, are all the way up and they're twisted inside the shade cloth. So I've had to actually sit here and sort of snip them on the way up and pick any green tomatoes that are left. But they got to be about 14 feet. So that's pretty good. You probably can't see it, but they actually come up and around my electrical wires there. Those are covered in, and then they come back down. It was crazy. But as you can see here, we've gotten rid of a lot of plants. The side is pretty much empty. And now what I've begun to do is take out some of the plant material that doesn't need to be in here, like extra tomatoes that started growing and some of the stuff that fell off of the vines. And once I get done all of that, these are, of course, my blackberry bushes that have all come up this year. Once I get rid of that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning the soil and we're going to be amending it. This will be year 2 for me. My soil is at a 7 as far as acidity, but from time to time the soil needs to be renewed. It's got a lot of worms and everything in it. We've got a lot of what I can see here of beneficial bugs, but it's about time I sort of gave it a little bit of a facelift, so we'll be doing that as well. This was a lot of work, and I'm only on one side. Favorite plant of the year absolutely had to be the Mexican huckleberry. And I say this because I have trimmed this plant 4 times in the last, let's say I give it a trim once a month. And so in 4 months, I've trimmed it 4 times. Look at all the berries that are still growing on this thing. It's still full of berries. It's still producing the green ones. You absolutely have to wait until they're black to eat. Which sort of goes for any huckleberry, really. Check this out. I mean, this is Halloween. This is amazing to be going into this time of the year with blossoms still and full of berries. I mean, the thing is just loaded. It's actually loaded so much that what's happened is, I'm just going to back up here. It's actually started, the branches have started to hit the ground. Look at the berries on this. So going and having berries into November, being in the north is absolutely amazing because everything else is expired. There's nothing else left on the trees. Everything is done. And like I said before, if you're a fan of tomatoes and you're a fan of grapes, and I know that sounds like a weird combination, but I have to tell you, everybody that's tried these berries has really loved these. These are really sweet. They kind of leave sort of a lingering grape taste on your tongue. And I actually really enjoy them. They're really different and they're really good. And they make a great jam. But if you can see through here, I can just zoom in. You can see that this thing is just loaded with berries. Look at all of it. All down in there. They've all hit the ground inside the raised bed. So this has turned out to be my favorite plant that's sort of given me as much berries as possible. And it's actually spread down onto my chair. It's actually a beautiful plant. So I will be harvesting some of these berries tomorrow because I definitely would like to make some more jam before the end of the year. But take a look at how much berries it's actually loaded up. I mean, it's still producing berries. It's unbelievable. My temperatures are in the minuses at night, and it's not really affecting this bush, I guess I'm going to call it. It looks like a tree, but look at this over here. Look at all the berries on the branch over here. Isn't that amazing? So I'm still in jam mode. I'm still making jam. You can see here If I go a little bit closer, you can see that it is still giving me blossoms. So I suspect that if my weather stayed any warmer here in the north, I'm thinking that this would grow all year long because it is not phased. And I mean, we have gone down into some serious cold temperatures and it does not seem to be phased. And the other thing that I've seen with it is that regardless if there's a pollinator, it's still growing the berries. So this is a good thing. Definitely something that I'm going to be growing again next year. I have saved the seeds from this thing 3 times. I must have over 3,000 seeds from it. So I don't know if I'm going to save any more. I think I'm just going to make jam. And the other thing I wanted to show you was we only cut, trimmed, pulled out the horseradish. What was that, about 8 days ago? If you look down here, what I've done with the extra is I have taken the roots and I've trimmed them. Now, a couple of these are crowns. We're not going to put these in the ground yet. They grow just fine in a pot. We will figure out what we're going to do with these next year. I'll probably replant them again in a different bed. But remember when I trimmed off, a lot of these roots broke off, and so I've trimmed them. And already, let me see if I can get up real close to the plant. If you can take a look right there, you can see there are little nodes that are coming out that are roots, brand new roots. And so what that means is this plant is going to root and it's going to give me a brand new horseradish plant. As a matter of fact, one has already started to push up leaves already. So these are very viable roots. Guys, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these horseradish plants. They're going to have to go in a container. If you've ever grown horseradish before, you know that it can be invasive and it can sort of take over, the corner of wherever you've planted it. So in order to contain it, that's why I grew it in here, so it stays in a container or a raised bed. You might want to consider that if you're looking at growing horseradish, but boy, did it come out yummy. We actually had some steaks the other night and put some horseradish with it, and it was really good. But they've all started to grow roots. I apologize for leaning forward here. I just want to pull one of them out and see. Let's go back to the one we were looking at. It won't hurt it if I pull it out here. If it's viable, we should see some roots all the way along here. Yeah, so let's get the dirt out of the way and see if I can zoom in here. Hopefully this doesn't get too cloudy. But if you can see really close here, let me see if I can fix the camera. There we go, that's better. You can see really close here where all the roots are now starting to come out all along this root. So these are just the side shoots of the horseradish. You see here. And when you chop off the side shoots, that's not the main crown, it's just the side shoots, they will root all the way down on either end. So I think one of the things that I was hearing for a while was, plant it on a 45-degree angle. It will give the root, a lot more space. But the truth of the matter is, the experience that I've had with horseradish is, when I planted it, if you lay it down, it actually roots from end to end. And there's proof of that because you can see that all along this one root. So we've got roots coming out here, we've got roots in the middle, and if we go all the way down, you can see that there's actually roots coming out at the end. So no matter which way you lay a horseradish root, a side shoot, it is going to root for you end to end, and it's going to send shoots up, and you're going to have a horseradish plant out of that. So no worries if some of you planted the horseradish on its side, it's still going to grow the same. You're still going to get a lot of green leaves. I've planted these ones straight up just because they're in a really tiny pot. But even if you laid them down, you're still going to get all these roots, which means you're going to get lovely growth come the spring. You're going to get a nice viable plant. So don't be afraid to try horseradish. It's really easy to grow. And I've trimmed off a lot of these leaves. And as you can see over here, we actually have some leaves growing back. Really simple, really easy to grow. The only thing you have to remember is just making sure that you put it somewhere that it's going to be contained, because like I said, it will become invasive and it will spread. It actually will walk across your driveway. You'll be sharing horseradishes or horseradish plants with your neighbors. So just make sure to contain it. Now, if you don't actually happen to grab crowns, that's okay. You don't need them. All you need is for a neighbor or somebody to give you the side shoots that come out straight from the crown. And like I said, it will do that for you, and you'll have a big plant in a year. This is how I originally received my horseradish, was just a side shoot. And well, you saw the video, you saw how big it was. So go ahead, give it a try. It's super simple. I believe, still have some horseradish roots, which are like these, and they're already rooting up in the Etsy store. Go ahead and give it a try. If you can grab some from a neighbor who's splitting some, because usually they have to chop the side shoots off to actually make horseradish, grab some when you can. It's actually really good for you, so give it a try. And what else do we have in here that's growing? Oh yes, I forgot to show you. We actually have blackberries still growing in here. Let me show you. They've gotten so tall that I've just sort of tacked them to the trellis for a temporary hold. But take a look here, guys. We are still getting blackberries. Let's see here, we've got a couple of more flowers. Here we go. And we've got some flowers. Where did I just see them? Oh, here we go, way over here. Got some flowers here. So the blackberries are happy in here. Now it's going to be November, so whether or not it gives me a berry in here or two, we'll see. The other ones actually did give me full-size berries, but we got hit with an early frost, so that took them outside. So I didn't get the berries that I wanted, but there's still hope. Let's see what happens. Oh, my one last tomato. Look at that. You can tell the weather has changed. You can see what it's doing to the skin. But I still got a tomato. And check out the Hungarian black pepper, guys. Now, I harvested this with you on a video, I think a couple of weeks ago already. And it's put back on full-size Hungarian peppers. Now, the heat on these peppers, when you have them in this state, will not be as hot until you actually leave them to go red. But, you know, it's going to be November, and I'm still getting full-size peppers here in the north, because this is about how big they get. This is it. Once they get that red color, boy, do they ever get hot. Let's see. They're still growing. Look at this. Still getting all these peppers on this plant. Look at this. This has been one of the most, I'm going to say, probably prolific peppers that I've had all summer. I mean, I've taken the peppers off of this thing once again, maybe 2 times, and it's already giving me more peppers, regardless of the temperature outside. See? Turning red. Look at this, it's still full size down here. It's awesome. So we'll get to do, you know, one more jar of pickled hot peppers, and we'll call it a season with this. But these have been growing since April, and they have done amazing. So if you get a chance to get some black Hungarian pepper, give it a try. If you like jalapenos, you're gonna like these guys. And this is where, let me just back up a little bit. This is where we picked all of the horseradish out, where you saw me in one of the videos get into the bed, dig it out with a shovel, that kind of thing. Now, I left some roots behind. Here are some of the little roots that I've left behind so that we can get another plant. And as you can see, here it's growing some more nodes. So the roots are starting to take shape here. You can see all the little roots. Oh, there we go. That's a really good picture there to show you that the roots are just going, hey, we're going to regrow here. So it looks like I'm going to have a full thing of horseradish again for next year. I have a friend, guys. Take a look. See the other one? I guess my tomatoes must be really good because that's my tomato pile right there. Let me take it to the back 40. All right, guys, so here is the back 40. We have now gotten rid of all the tomato plants. Of course, the strawberries and everything have shut down. We've got several different varieties of garlic growing, which is going to be good. Kind of excited about that. But as you can see, we've sort of tidied it out. All the vines, everything is gone. So we've shut this part down, of course, for the winter. But what I wanted to show you was this. Let me just turn around and hopefully I can find the same spot. I was all the way down in here looking yesterday. And I think we did a video about a week ago. Was it about a week ago already? Good grief, the time flies. About the Egyptian red onions. Take a look at that. It's already sprouting. So I only planted these, like I said, about a week ago. They were already sprouting. This is a good thing. Look at this. Here we go. Here's another one. And so we've decided we're going to be leaving these actually in a raised bed because if not, they're going to take over my yard. And I don't want that. If you've ever had an opportunity to grow these kinds of onions, what will happen is they eventually just grow their top sets and then fall over and then move on and grow more top sets. And that's why they're called walking onions, because they continuously keep making those top sets. And what happens is they just walk right across your yard, and pretty soon you'll have so much walking onions you won't know what to do with them all. So we're going to keep them contained here. But I wanted to show you that, yep, they are definitely starting to sprout. So I'm really happy about that. We'll cover him up a little bit. I'm really excited about next spring. I know we're just going into winter, but we've planted a lot of things here that I'm looking forward to seeing how the progress is and then being able to share it with you as well. It's really cool to make videos and to talk about them and see everybody's progress in different areas and just share everything that we're growing. I've started a third strawberry bed. I had to thin everything out. And then we've planted quite a bit of garlic, so we'll see how those turn out. But in the meantime, guys, just wanted to give you an update as to what's happening with the greenhouses at Not a Real Farm. Lots of things going on. It is Monday evening, and I've got, what do I have in the oven? A casserole, a macaroni casserole. So, got to get to it. Time for dinner. See you guys soon.